What's up, family members? My name is Dr. Nkeng Stevens, aka Mr. Would Take Another Shot. Today, I'm here to give you guys something very exciting. I haven't been able to release tutorials recently because you know me, I always like to give you guys the best. I always like to go and do research, and come out with the little tasteful things that really matters, you see. So, out of my research, I got like a new way to color grade my footages from start to finish. So today in this tutorial, I'm going to walk you guys through how to color grade your footages from start to finish, like the workflow. The most important thing about color grading is how consistent your colors can be. Most times you shoot with different cameras, different scene lightings and all that. Trying to balance it sometimes really gets, in a way. But now with this workflow, you'll be able to have consistent color grading. You'll be able to have consistent colors in your clips, and you'll just be able to stand out from the others. So just stay back, get your pens, get your pencil, and get your books. It's going to be 30 minutes long. It's not going to be easy because there are a lot of tips inside there that, I can't really just be fast about it. I have to really take time to explain to you guys so you guys can really learn and understand. I'm a that boy like you want to. I'm a that girl like you want to.
So here we are in DaVinci Resolve, and I'm going to show you the easiest workflow I discovered, after my research. And here's a video I shot last year or 2 years ago. Shot it in Togo, and this is Ralicia, an artist in Togo, and I just rushed on it and did some very quick and nice looks. So we're gonna be coloring this. The first thing I want to give you as an advice is that before you color any project, it's very good you go through the whole video, watch the whole video, and then you can group the shots into different groups. For example, if you see this project of mine, this is under one group. You can see here, this is where I do the color grading, and then this is where I do my primary color corrections. This is to ensure that you can work really fast. And you can see over here too, you can see this is where I do my color grading, and then this is where I do my primary color corrections. So I'm gonna do the same on this one. I'm gonna group this one. So I'll just group every shot that was shot on this scene. That's what I'm gonna group. So when grouping your shots, ensure that you group your shots according to how you shot it. So every shots that was shot in this scene, I'm gonna put it under one group. So when you highlight everything, you just come over here and then you add into new group. I already did that, so I'm not gonna do it again. So now let's go over to the workflow. So before color grading, the first thing you have to know is you have to do primary color correction. And primary color correction entails different things. The first thing you have to know is contrast. The second thing, saturation, and the third thing is white balance. So we're going to work on the contrast, saturation, and white balance for this shot. I'm going to create my note tree. I'll create 3 notes first. Okay, so I just went along and rename my note tree. I'm gonna use 3 notes for color corrections, and this is balance, this is contrast, and this is saturation. Permit me to use the Z for S. My S key has a problem, so I think I'm gonna fix that. This video was shot on Panasonic GH5 using the V-Log. Okay, here is good. So let's start with contrast. We'll bring up the contrast level up. While doing that, we have to ensure we look at our scopes. Let's bring up the scopes. Video scopes on. We're going to start with the waveform. So I'll place my waveform here. Since I'm working with exposure right now, I'm going to start with the waveform. So yeah, I'm gonna work with the contrast, go right up, and then just look for the sweet spot. I like it around here, and then I'm gonna come over to my game and then start trying to fix it a little bit. So just take the shadow or the lift up a little and then bring down the highlights while looking at your scope. Bring down the gain, and then gamma can come up a little. You're basically just balancing it. So this is where your eyes have to be really good, just to see where is your sweet spot. Get it? So we can see before and after, before and after. So that's just contrast. So from there, we'll be able to go to the next part of it, which is saturation. But before saturation, I would like to do white balance first. And you can see how close is white. So we have to do white balance depending on this close. You can see on the waveform, this is where the whites falling, and you can see here the whites are not really balanced. So we're going to try to balance this whites. There are a lot of ways you can do it in DaVinci Resolve. We have easy way that you just click on this white balance tool and then you click on it. You see how wide it is, and it's a very quick and easy way, and I like to use it sometimes. Sometimes I just like to play with the temperature and tint, and sometimes I like to play with the offset. It all depends on which scenarios and why. So it all depends on you. It's just understanding the tools and then knowing how to use it and when to use it. Okay, I have my white balance already. You can see that it's a very good one. I'm going to work on my saturation right now. So I'll take the saturation up, while looking at my vector scope. I'll take the saturation up and then bring it down. It's always advisable to first of all take the saturation higher and then you bring it down. Anytime you're trying to push colors, it's always advisable to first of all push it too much and then you bring it down, so that when you push it too much, you get to see to what extent in which you can get, and then you start bringing it down till you get your sweet spot. So I just pushed it up and then bringing it down. I can see this is my sweet spot. Okay, now, so this is done with color correction. You can see this, and before and after, you can see how all the colors pops out very well. I haven't done any noise reduction. I can see a little bit of noise, but I'm okay with it. And I mean, this is good for the start. And you just go ahead and copy this color correction on all the other clips before you start doing color grading. So most times what I do is, after I'm done with the first color correction, I'll just go and copy and then adjust if any need be. So come here, copy, and then copy. So for example, let's say you copy the color correction on a clip and it's so dark, you just have to come to contrast and then you try to work on it, bring it up a little bit, and just play around with it till you're satisfied. So let's go ahead and copy all of the color correction onto our different clips, then we go to color grading. So when you're done, you can just go ahead and see that all your clips are color corrected already. This is when you're ready for color grading. So under color grading, I'm gonna come to group post clip. Now anything I do on that is group post clip is going to affect this clips. That's why it was very important that we did our color correction first, just to match all the shots. If you're using another camera, like different cameras in one scene, you just have to take this time out to match the shots and ensure everything is looking okay before you go to color grading. Okay, so now in color grading, I'll create 3 nodes, and then the first node is going to be my color wheels. The second node, HSL. Remember I told you my S has a problem, so I'm using Z. And the next node is going to be skin. So this is where I'm going to work the skin and then, just refine the skin to ensure it's balanced, or it finds its place in the color. And then the next node I'm going to put here is going to be adjustment node. So this is where I'm going to adjust everything. And then the next node, which is going to be down here, will be my glow, and finally my film grain. So I'll put grain. Okay, so we can start with this sixth note. So we're gonna start. The first thing we're gonna do is decide what look we want for this particular scene. To decide the look you want, it all comes down to the story of the song or the story of the movie or the story you're trying to tell. So, according to this song, this girl is singing to her lover who is cheating on her and who breaks her heart all the time, and she's kind of sad. And so we want to have some sad mode in it, but it's a music video, so people always like to see colors coming out, popping out in music videos. Yeah, so we want to create that mode, but then yet try to keep the colors. But yes, we're gonna do it, yeah, but we're gonna be very, very technical with how we reduce the colors so that we can still keep the music video vibe and then make the clients happy. Yeah, I'm gonna use the color wheels, and I'm gonna come over offset. Over offset, I'm gonna just play around with this offset till I find a spot where I like. So I'm just moving this offset around, you can see. So I'm really doing it slowly so I get the sweet spot. I think I like it, yeah. So you can see the before and after. I basically just remove a lot of red from the image, just take down the red all the way. So one important thing I want to advise you when color grading is that when you want to have good colors, it's always good to create contrast. So contrast could be in colors, contrast could be in lighting, contrast could be in even set design, props design, just try to create contrast. For example, take a look at this image before I added this adjustment. You see that everything was just red. You can see on the skin is red, the hair has some taste of red in it. So there's really no contrast between the skin and the shadows and all the other parts of the images. But then if you see, I just added just one touch of this offset. You can now see how I'm trying to create contrast between the skin and the shadows and the hair and between all the other parts of the images if you take a close look at it. So see that? So that is the most important thing about color grading. It's about creating contrast. So now let's move ahead. We're done with our color wheels. We're gonna come back to color wheels, but now I'm gonna come to my adjustment layer. I'm gonna create contrast related to light. So under the adjustment layer, I'm gonna come over my custom curve and then just try to figure out where I want the image to sit on. And basically now it's good, but I just want to see if I can make some more changes and get some more contrast. So let me try that. So you can see what just this small contrast thing did. It's just brought up some more light into the image without necessarily doing too much. It's just simple and small things in color grading that matters. In color grading, you don't need to do too much, to get the best. Sometimes you just do very little things and then you get what you're looking for. So I think I like it like this. So the next thing I'm gonna do is go to my HSL node, and then I'm gonna start dialing my look now according to how I want it. If I look at my vector scope, I'm trying to separate colors. I'm trying to separate colors already. You can see some blue in the shadows right down here. You can see some oranges and all that. So I'm trying to separate different colors. Let me just skin indicator. You can see my skin is really just just at the middle. You can see when I go, but we can still work on that. We have the skin node, yeah. So HSL, I'm gonna work on HSL right now. So let's move to HSL. Start with a U versus U. And what are we asking ourselves right now? We're asking ourselves that looking at this image, what are the hues that we want to change to tell the story that we want to tell? The hues we want to change. What do you mean of hue? Hue is a color. So what are the colors in these images that we want to change to tell the story better? Looking at the image already, I will see that we're really pretty good. But then I want to do some just minor touches, like I told you what minor touches does. Over here, I just want to take it up a little while looking at the vector scope. See, I want to take everything around here up a little. Take everything up a little. You can see the difference it does, how it perfect the skin and everything around it makes it to be more lively. Before it was really very orangey, and now, it stands out more. And then I'll come over to saturation. On the saturation, I'm gonna do this. Just walking around to get where's your sweet spot. So I'm gonna bring this down. Remember our ideas before we started color grading. We want to desaturate the colors, but yet we want to be able to keep some juice into it. So you see, this is too much juice, and then I'm trying to desaturate it just to get the right spot. I think this is the right spot. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is try to work on the saturation on these different parts. I can see right over here there's a lot more green. So see, I'll just take the green saturation down a little. And then this blue, try to take the saturation down to a little because it doesn't really help me in anything, just basically balancing the image and making sure it looks, right for me. So this is before and this is after. Before and after. Before and after. Okay. So now everything is actually quite balanced. We can come over the Luma channel and then try to, just play around with this till you get what you want, while looking at it. So basically you can see what we have done with just this HSL. We're trying to really, keep the colors really outstanding. Let's see before and after. This is before the whole looks and this is after the looks. This is before the looks and this is after the looks. You can see what we're doing already. You can see how much impact we're doing already. So now let's move over to the next thing in the image. The next thing is we want to add some more color contrast on the color wheels. So I'll come over to the color wheels, and then I say go to my log wheels. So I'll start with my highlights, and then just bring some warm into the highlights. Like just some sweet warm into the highlights so you can see before after. You see what the worm does. Then you can use the wrench and then just play around. See, it's too much. And then you bring it back. You can get, depends on how you want it, yeah? So I'll just leave it around here. Here is good. So uh, that's a good one. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is come over to the shadow and then move the shadow just a little bit down just to create more contrast. Remember, color grading is about contrast. The more the contrast, the more beautiful it looks in the eyes. So right here, right now, I think I'm already in a very sweet spot. What I'm gonna do is touch up my skin. I can say maybe my shadows are a little bit more green, but I'm gonna adjust that on the adjustment node. So I'm gonna work on my skin. One tip to select skin, guys. I know a lot of people face problems selecting skin. Before you select your skin, ensure you've done a lot of contrast, a lot of color contrast, and lighting contrast or luminous contrast, because the selection of the skin will be as good as the contrast. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Most times people just go ahead and start selecting skin when they don't have enough contrast into their images, and ensure that your note for skin always comes after you have all your contrast, so that your selections can be really good, especially with those using small cameras. For example, you see this, I can really have good selections right now, because I already did a lot of contrast. So for tutorial sake, I'll just work like this. I won't take too much time to fix this out, but if I'm doing color grading for whole project, I'm gonna take much time on that, but this is good still. And so after selecting the skin, I want the skin to be at the right spot where I want it to be. So I'll come over the lock wheel and then just start playing around with the lock with the mid-tone, just till I get it. Don't forget, you have to push it, then you bring it back. I'm now using my eyes, and this is the most important thing about color grading, is how mature and how good your eyes are. So it's always very nice to watch a lot of movies made by great filmmakers, and then watch a lot of videos made by good video directors, and understand how they play around with colors and how they get their looks. Just understanding how their looks and how much they push their images, their skin tone, their color palettes, and all that. When you understand that, you can now start dialing your own clips to look that professional. So, and I'll just continue with that. So now push some more yellow into the mid-tones of the skin. So if you see before and after, it's really, so it's just very light. You see before, after, before, after. See, it's very light, but it's these light things, these small things that really create the impacts in color grading. So I'm gonna come over my shadows, and on the shadow I'm gonna say let me add some more, just a little bit more red. Just a little bit red while looking at my vector scope, and then you can see that we have something really nice. So you can see before and after. And then under the highlights, I'm gonna add a little bit of this highlights colors, which is yellow. I'm gonna put some yellow here, and then the red, the shadows, I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add this. So now you can see my skin really stands out, It's not really too much, but it's good. So this is what I have. This is before and this is after. Before and after. You can see how much impact we have done already. And then trying to create the look, trying to not mess up with the ideas we have. Okay, under my adjustment layer, this is where I'm gonna do the final adjustment, and just dye down some colors if they are too much. For example, I feel like the reds are a little bit up, so I'll just maybe take this one and then try to dye down, sorry, the saturation of the red. Just trying to dye down a little bit, just and then we can let's up we can take this, basically just playing around with what you have till you're satisfied with this note. And then the U, I want to bring down this U a little bit. So you can see it's and then you can say, hey, under the lock wheels, I told you about these shadows being a little bit too green for my liking. So we could just come here and push the opposite of green, which is magenta, and then this is before, and then try to take it up till you're getting it out. So you can see what it has done before and after. Before and after. Basically, it's just removing the green a little. So now you can see this for yourself. This is before the look and after the look. Before the look and after the look. For today's sake, I think we'll just stop creating the looks here, and then we'll go over to glow. On the glow right now, we're gonna, add our glow. This is where glow helps to stylize the images from time to time. Just just play around with your glow till you're satisfied with how it looks and the brightness level. And then sometimes you can change the color, just to get everything dialed down on your mood the way you want it. Sometimes I like it just as natural as that. Sometimes I like to add a little bit more warm. You see what it does. And for today's sake, I'll just use this so you can see what it do. So let's say bring it down and then take it up a little bit so you can see what this does. You see it helps a lot to just making it outstanding. And then here you can put your grain, and you go ahead and do your settings according to how you want it, and then you can really have a good shot. And after this color grading in the post clip, you can see now that every shot, every clip that was under this group has been color graded already. And you can see that now you can just go back and start doing some fixings and all that. So this is why I said it's good to group the clips before you do the color grading. And it also helps you to have good shot matching. Most times when you watch some videos, you see in the same scenes, you have like 3 different kind of color grading. That's bad color grading. Like each scene has to have a particular color that tells the story of that scene. And then everything has to be consistent. Like the colors have to be consistent. Even if you use different cameras, the colors have to be consistent. So this workflow is the best workflow to have consistent colors, because you first of all have to do color correction on individual clips, and then you come and do color grading on every clip. And now if you want to make any changes on this clip, let's say some clips do not match, you want to do some changes, you can come over to clip, and then just go to your contrast and then start doing some adjustment, just as you want it, you know.
Thank you for sticking out to the end. I hope you learned something. For those who learned something, hit the like button, go down, hit the subscription for those who have not subscribed, so you can get more of my videos when they drop, and share the video, which is the most important thing, so that everybody can learn, we can all grow together and make Africa a better continent. And I'm going to be releasing a very short tutorial to you guys very, very soon, and this tutorial is going to be we're going to cover more about shaping light in images. These are the little things that really make you stand out from other colorists. It's like mastering music, basically. For those who understand more about music, you can mix a music and it's just flat, and you can master a music, and when you master the music, you're trying to make it sound, you're trying to bring out some parts in the music. It's the same like images too. So when you're coloring and you're grading, there's a finer taste which you add into it, which is shaping light. And to me, I call it mastering in color grading. It's just about bringing out some particular points or details in the image that you want people to see more. That alone creates a huge difference. So the video will be dropping soon. See you next time. Okay, we'll take another shot.